Welcome to the High School Football Coaches Show. Of course, it's presented by the great folks at COMC, Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. Also brought to you by MoDOT, Save Mo Lives, Slumberland Furniture, Slumberland at the Lake, Price and Randall Injury Attorneys, and Lake Expo Real Estate, lakeexpo.com. We've got our good friend Shannon Jolly, head coach of the Osage Indians, with us. Love it every time we can get together, Coach. We have so much fun. We go into week number 2 of the season. You got to deal with a holiday earlier this week, Labor Day weekend and all of that stuff. This program of yours has come so far in the 5 years you've been back here, and it's kind of, the script is kind of flipped. Now, you're no longer the hunters. You're no longer the underdog. You're now hunted, and you're usually favored to win a lot of these games. Does that change the way you coach or the way you get the kids ready?
No, I don't think so, because we're still not satisfied. And I mean, our coaches and our kids. So, you know, you can say being the hunted or the underdog, or, you know, you're expected to win games. But we know in high school football, coaches that have been doing this long enough, you can win really on any, or lose on any given Friday night. So it's just always preparing. And I'm probably the worst. As soon as we get done with one game, it's like trying to make sure that we're prepared, that we don't get another loss. So it's tough. But no, I don't think our kids look at it like that, and I know our coaches don't. So we've been humbled. We appreciate being thought of that way, and but we got a lot more to accomplish.
Yeah, it's got to feel good though. I mean, when you came in, the program was down, and you bring it around there in the top 10, you know, and stuff like that. All of that kind of says, yeah, you're doing a great job here.
Well, we've got a lot of guys that are doing a good job, but you know, it's just part of I think consistency, and I think that's one of the most under talked about things in coaching in general, whether in any sport, is just do you have a coach in place? Do you have a solid leader in place? And then is that leader and is the district putting great people around him? And in our case, I mean, our district has been so supportive of us and creating opportunities for me to bring in quality staff members. And but these guys do it on and off the field. I mean, these guys are influencing people. Coach Heenbrock and his wife run the Flag Football League.
Yeah. Coach
Evans and Coach Austin are coaching some of our youth football. And so we try to create a schedule where we can make that conducive. And it's not easy, but that's just a total perspective of looking at it, and from the 4th grade up.
Yeah, that's amazing. And people don't realize that you start working with these kids that early to get them ready for when they come see you in high school. So we've talked about how you've built this program up. You've turned it around. They've come such a long way. What has been the key to that turnaround? What is the key to going from a 2 or a 3 win team to a 7, 8, 9 win team?
I think you got to believe that you can win. I don't think it matters where you go. We talk about some of these schools. What people don't realize, you take across the nation. I would love to go back and study and see how many kids played high school football and never were on a winning team.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more than you think.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is just, first of all, the belief that you can win. And you keep saying, I turned it around. I mean, I can humbly say, like, the guys downstairs in the locker room do 80% of all the work.
Yeah.
And so maybe it wasn't like that at the very beginning, but now it is. And so those guys are clearly the guys that handle the business. I think it's important to have a leader and a centralized leader, but we have created an environment with our staff that there's a lot of responsibility that those guys have earned and taken from me, because that's who they are.
That's a sign of a good leader, though, is to have good people around them.
You just don't mess it up.
Try to find, that's right, yeah.
You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
Yes, just like having Andy and Will around you makes you better.
Absolutely. Okay, so it's week number 2 of the high school football season. Coach Jolly and the Osage Indians will be taking on Moberly on Friday night. We'll talk about Moberly and much more when we come back on the COMC High School Football Coaches Show.
What's like and follow?
Phones are very distracting. Which is why Missouri now has a law against holding a phone while driving.
Dude, what are you doing? You can't hold your phone while driving.
Yeah, that's illegal.
Buckle up.
At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center offers pediatrics at 2 lake locations and 3 OBGYNs at the Osage Beach Clinic, offering same-day appointments. At COMC, our doors are open to everyone, whether you live at the lake or just here visiting. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Get more info on how COMC can help you at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission. Welcome back to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show. We're talking with Osage head coach Shannon Jolly. The Indians head into week number 2, home opener this week against Moberly. You beat Moberly last year 39-6, beat up on them pretty good. What would you like to see from the offense this week?
Well, I think we just need to continue to evolve and continue to be more balanced. You know, we lost 2 state caliber running backs last year, in Aiden and Jason.
Yeah.
And so Drake and Brock are the 2 guys that have taken the reins, but they're completely different running backs. And having bigger backs like that make you a little bit more confident in short yardage situations. So it's just putting the pieces together around them to make sure, you know, that we get better. And I think we will be and continue to be, but it's really just understanding that we're building this thing for a week 10 team so we can kind of, you know, have a pinnacle at that point.
Yep.
And so in that, you have to be a little patient and a little bit, you know, you have to understand that there's going to be some highs and lows.
Yeah. You've bullied teams the last couple of years on defense. You've been big and strong and tough, and your kids like to hit. What are you looking for the defense this week?
Well, I think that goes back to even one specific player in Jason Colonius, who was an all-state linebacker for us. Having him on the field had similar results as Jackson Funderburk. You know, before him, really similar players. And what I mean is you've got those standout players. I think our defense is going to be better this year, but I don't know that one player is going to stand out like that. I mean, with those guys, Jason really made some plays last year that put some team on their heels,
right?
And they knew he was there. So collectively, though, we'll be better. It's just going to look a little differently.
Let's take a couple seconds to talk about your coaches. You've not made it a secret at all. One of the keys to your success is putting good coaches around you. So tell me about some of your staff and who's doing what this year.
Well, we've got when John Baumstark left, him and his family moved to Washington. So we kind of we're collectively working on the offense together. I know Coach Brooks, our receiver coach, and Coach Bockham works with our offensive line, but those guys and myself are working on our offense this year. And then Coach Hess has Coach Evans and Coach Heenbrock and Coach Austin, you know, working on the defensive side. But the collaboration for those guys is amazing. I mean, they've got a great working relationship. And then on the offensive side, we brought in Coach Bledsoe's a new PE teacher. He played for me at Eldon.
Really? Okay.
And Coach J.C. Brandt played for me in Eldon too, and he's come on to play or to coach. And he's been best friends with Coach Bockham. So there's, you know, when we talk about culture, it's the connection of people.
Yeah.
And if they're not connected originally, then finding ways to connect people. And that's really what I've focused on. And over the last 30 years, you get a little bit of a knack of like, hey, where do I put these guys and what responsibilities do I give them? And we've just been fortunate that we have a tremendous staff put together right now.
And you trust them to the point where you kind of give them some marching orders and let them go.
I trust them more than I trust myself. So what I'm saying is, and those guys, and it's proven though, they expect that. They want to prove to have those responsibilities, and then they take the wheel, and then I sit back, and there has to be trust.
Yeah. The home opener has to be fun. It's special every year.
Yeah, we're excited about being back home, and we always like bringing people here on Friday nights. We think that's our responsibility at Lake of the Ozarks, is to bring all of our fans here on Friday night for a safe and exciting atmosphere.
That's right. Be here. Osage Friday night as they have a pretty good game. It ought to be interesting. So coming up next, we're going to head over to Camdenton, talk with Lakers head coach Par Pitts about their Week 2 game.
Lake life starts here. At Lake Expo Real Estate, we know that buying or selling a lakefront property is more than just a transaction. It's the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter that we strive to make easy, from listing to closing. In a competitive market, we showcase your property to the masses online with LakeExpo.com, returning unmatched visibility. And if you're ready to buy that lake house, our team lives and breathes the lake lifestyle, so we know what this chapter is all about. At Lake Expo Real Estate, we believe in community, cherishing those lasting memories, and helping make your lake dream a reality. Check us out online to find lake properties, No logins, no distractions, just pure, unfiltered lake views and options. Lake Expo Real Estate, where we are ready to be a part of your next chapter.
Welcome back to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show. We are here at Camdenton, home of the Lakers, week number 2 of this young high school football season. And Coach, you have got a tough one right off the, right here early in the season against a Branson team that has really come on the last couple years. Last year, they went undefeated until they went deep into the playoffs and finally got beat.
Yeah, they were a really good football team on both sides of the ball. They controlled the line of scrimmage. That was probably as big a thing as that we saw from them, as they dominated the line of scrimmage against us. And we dug ourselves a giant hole in the first half, and they took advantage of that and were able to control our game. We were disappointed in that, but I felt like that we improved maybe more from week 2 to week 3 last year than we did any other time during the season. And so you want to do that from week 1 to week 2.
Yeah.
As you go through, but we'll be ready for that challenge.
Absolutely, and that Branson team, do they have any of those kids coming back this year?
Well, we know that their senior quarterback, who was the male athlete of their school system last year,
yeah,
he graduated, and he was an amazing leader and a good player. They bring back some guys up front that we know are going to be a handful, and their junior varsity was very solid last year, and so we know that they're going to bring those guys up. They've developed them. It's going to be a battle as we get started.
Absolutely. Okay, so the game Friday night at home, and again, it's here on Lake TV, so be sure to watch Friday night. The Lakers and Branson were really excited about this matchup. What is your defense going to have to do against Branson after seeing what they could do last year? What do you need to do?
Well, we've got to stop the flex bone. They are an option-style offense, do a great job of being able to run various types of triple option, and so we're going to have to be able to play assignment football and get those things throttled down. We know that that's the core of what they are, is running the football.
Well, and that's so tough sometimes when they're really good handling the ball, when the quarterback is really good handling. It's tough to know who's got the ball, right?
Yeah, that's why you got to be assignment football.
Yeah, so everybody's got to do their part, and if your guy's got the ball, you're going to get him.
Yeah.
Right? And if you're not doing your part, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
He's going to be down the field. Okay, so that's what the defense needs to do. How about the offense? What are you looking for there?
We got to control the line of scrimmage up front. We've got to be able to get first downs in chunk plays, and then once we have the opportunity to put the ball in the air, it's got to be effective. And hopefully we can do that by establishing the run game first.
Yeah. You were a lineman when you won a state championship as a Laker, a captain. You play in these early season games, and they are hot. And you got all those pads on out there. That's pretty tough, right? I mean, do you even notice that as a player, or you're young, it doesn't matter at all?
Well, I think that it's more noticeable in practice, when you have a little bit of time to think about it. In the game, the pace is a little bit different. It's later at night, it's in closer to dark. So
right.
You definitely can get hot in a game, but it seems to me that the guys can sort of overcome that a little easier than the heat of the day at 3:30 and that sun bearing down.
Yeah.
So it's always, the conditions are always tough, and when you're worrying about heat and weather and all those things.
Do you go through more players as a head coach? Do you do more substituting to keep people fresh? And
when it's really hot, you definitely have to get guys in there, and you have to do that ahead of time. You don't want to wait till somebody's completely gassed to give them a break. You want to try to build those in as you're going through a game plan.
Yeah.
So that guys aren't exhausted. You can give them a break before they get exhausted.
Exhausted and cramping up and all that stuff.
Once they get there, it's really hard to rebound.
Yeah, okay. So it's week 2 of the season. Right here on Lake TV Friday night, the Lakers at home against a really good Branson program. We'll talk more about that when we come back on the COMC High School Football Coaches Show.
Hey everybody, it's Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture. We're in the middle of our Labor Day sale. That means we've got lots of great deals, lots of discounts, and wonderful financing options. Tempur-Pedics, Stearns & Foster's, we've got you covered, up to $800 off, and 72 months interest-free financing. Don't forget, we deliver the entire lake area, so come check us out at Slumberland Furniture, where we're bringing happy home.
Competing on the field requires hard work.
It also requires effort and making good choices, which carries over off the field.
Like good choices behind the wheel of your car. Did you know that a driver is 20 times more likely to be in a serious accident if texting and driving?
Last year alone, 104 people were killed in Missouri from distracted driving. So keep leading the statistics, but don't become one.
Buckle up, phones down.
This Drive Safe, Boat Safe reminder brought to you by Price and Randall, injury attorneys.
Welcome back to the COMC High School Football Coaches Show, getting ready for game number 2 of this high school football season. Friday night, the Lakers, right here on Lake TV again Friday night against Branson, a really good Branson team that went 10-1 last year, went deep into the playoffs. So who are the players that you've got coming back this season that you're really looking to lead the way for you this season?
Well, we got Paul Muff is a guy that's really started some as a sophomore. All of our season last year he started on defense. He's playing a little bit on both sides of the ball, and he's definitely one of our guys that we look to lead and lead by example by playing the way he plays. Lucas Roth is another guy that is a really outstanding football player who has a bunch of starts under his belt. Andy Diaz is a defensive lineman, defensive tackle that started all of our games last year and is a guy that's playing on both sides of the ball now. Those guys are doing an amazing job. Junior Phillips is an offensive lineman that has been really steady for us as we've progressed this season. And then offensively, Michael Machino is an outstanding leader at quarterback and a guy that we look to help set the tone.
Right, cool, that's very good. Is your team big this year, small this year, kind of average, medium size? How does that fit? I mean, you play some big guys when you're taking on these Jeff City and Columbia teams.
Yeah, I'd say we're sort of a mix. We've got some big linemen that are, the traditional looking, 6 feet, 250-pound kind of guys. And then we've got some smaller, quicker guys that go in and we can put them in position to be successful. Our running backs, Eli Dickerson, Cole Jennings are big, strong guys, Sean Hasker. And then we've got Carter Butts, who's played tailback for us some, and he's not, a 6'5" running back, but he's got great vision and can do some things that really do help you. We have Bryce Branson, who's a tight end, who's a big, strong kid, a traditional-looking tight end, 6'3", 6'4", strength, and can catch the ball and block.
And he was a good basketball player, too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, let's give some coaches some love. A lot of the success for a head coach is the coaches you put around you. Who are some of your key coaches this year?
Yeah, I've relied on my coaches this year probably more than ever because I had back surgery over the summer and they had to take over the program and while I was recovering. And so Coach Nolting, Coach Walker, our 2 coordinators, offensive and defensive coordinators, took the brunt of that leadership role. But all of our coaches at the high school level do an amazing job there. They're Lakers, through and through, and so it's important to them, so I know they do a great job pouring into our guys.
That's one thing the Laker football program does. You have a lot of former Lakers that wanted to come home and keep being a Laker, be a part of the program. It's pretty amazing how often that happens, like yourself. Yeah. Right? I mean, you were a very successful head coach in your own right, but you wanted to come back and be a part of the Laker program, so you were an assistant for several years. Yeah,
I came back and I assisted for 8 years, and so being a Laker is a big part of my development as a person that went out into the world, and the guys that come back, they just want to do that for the guys that are playing right now.
Amazing. Well, good luck Friday night, Coach. We'll see you on Lake TV against Branson. Appreciate it. So the COMC High School Football Coaches Show, of course, presented by Central Ozarks Medical Center. Also brought to you by MoDOT. Save Mo Lives. Love that. Slumberland Furniture, Slumberland at the Lake, Price and Randall, injury attorneys, and Lake Expo Real Estate, lakeexpo.com. The high school football season is off and running. This makes 13 straight years of local high school football on Lake TV. Friday night, William Holtz and Mike Bissell bring you a Week 2 showdown between Camdenton and Branson. The Pirates rolled over the Lakers last year. Can Camdenton get some payback? It all starts with the COMC pregame show at 6:30, kickoff at 7. High school football Friday night, Camdenton and Branson on Lake TV.